Hello everyone and welcome back to Miss McD Reads to Me. I'm Miss McD and if you're new to my channel then welcome. Here is where you can stop by and hear me read stories aloud. And today's story is called Katie and the Sunflowers and it's written and illustrated by James Mayhew and it's quite a long story. So you might want to grab a snack and a drink and make yourself comfortable. And if everyone's ready, let's begin. Grandma was helping Katie plant seeds in the garden when it started to rain. Never mind, Grandma said. The rain will make everything grow. But what will we do instead? Said Katie. Let's go to the museum, said Grandma. You always have fun there. When they arrived, Grandma sat down to rest, so Katie went off by herself to look around. The museum was full of warm, sunny paintings. Katie liked a painting called Sunflowers by Vincent Van Gogh. The sunflowers looked dry and crunchy and were full of seeds. I would love to grow seeds like these in my garden, said Katie. She reached into the painting and discovered she could touch them. But Katie bumped the vase. It wobbled and fell right out of the picture, spilling sunflowers and seeds all over the floor. Oh no, said Katie. I better clean this up before anyone sees. Just then, Katie heard giggling. She looked around, but there was no one else in the room. The laughter was coming from Breton Girls Dancing by Paul Gauguin. What's so funny? Said Katie, climbing inside. Katie saw that she was standing beside a farm. The three girls, Maisie, Musette and Mimi, giggled and pointed at the mess Katie had made. You'll be in big trouble if anyone finds out, they said. Well, I didn't mean to knock over the vase, said Katie. Will you help me clean it up? Too tired, said Maisie. We've been dancing all day, said Musette. Katie turned to Mimi. What about you? Only if I can bring Zazu, said Mimi, picking up her dog. I suppose it's all right, said Katie. Let's go. So they went through the frame and into the museum. Mimi and Katie gathered up the sunflowers, but Zazu wanted to play. He snatched the flowers and ran off. Oh, how can we put the picture back together now? Said Katie angrily. I'm sorry, mon ami, said Mimi. Let's try to catch him. They chased Zazu, but he was too quick for them. Suddenly, he took a flying leap toward Café Terrace at Night by Vincent Van Gogh and disappeared inside. Katie and Mimi jumped in after him. Zazu refused to let go of the sunflowers. He darted between tables and chairs, bumping into them and sending plates and cups flying. Then he ran between the waiter's legs. Zut alors! Cried the waiter, dropping a plate of pastries. He was very angry. He chased Katie, Mimi and Zazu right through the frame and back into the museum. What are we going to do? Gasped Mimi. I've got an idea, said Katy, spotting a painting by Paul Cézanne called Still Life with Apples and Oranges. Come on, I need your help. Katy reached into the painting and grabbed one end of the tablecloth. She told Mimi to take the other end. Now pull, yelled Katy. The bowls of fruit tipped over and apples and oranges came tumbling into the museum just as the waiter caught up with them. He slipped on the fruit and spun around till he was dizzy. Zut alors, he yelled again. I wonder where Zazu went, said Mimi. He must be here somewhere, said Katy as they dashed away. Hélas, said Mimi. I'll never find him, and he'll be lost in the museum forever. Wait, said Katy. I hear a dog barking. They followed the noise, and there, at the end of the corridor, was Zazu. He had dropped the sunflowers and was barking at the bright red dog in Tahitian pastorals by Paul Gauguin. The red dog barked back, and Zazu jumped inside the picture. Your dog is nothing but trouble, Katy grumbled as they clambered in after him. Zazu and the red dog barked at each other, wagging their tails. Welcome to our island, said two beautiful women. It was very peaceful. The breezes were full of the scent of flowers in bloom, and the sea gently lapped the beach. Phew, said Katy. It's very hot here. Let's go wading. While Zazu and the red dog scampered on the beach, Katy and Mimi splashed in the sea. Zazu was digging furiously when, all of a sudden, he disappeared. Where has he gone? Said Mimi. Katy peered into the hole. It was very large, and at the bottom was Zazu sitting on top of a big chest. Mimi and Katy moved him aside and slowly raised the lid. It was full of gold coins. Pirate treasure, said Katy, showing the women. What will you do with it? We have no use for money here. We have everything we could ever need, they said. You can have it if you like. Katy took a handful of coins and thanked the women. Then she, Mimi, and Zazu went through the frame and back into the museum. Katy quickly picked up the sunflowers before Zazu could grab them again. We'd better put these back, she said. Which way is it? I'm not sure, mon ami, said Mimi. I think we're lost. Then they saw Zazu sniffing at something on the ground. Sunflower seeds, said Katy. Zazu left a trail of them. What a clever dog. I'm glad he came after all. Mimi gathered Zazu up in her arms, and they followed the trail of sunflower seeds back to the Cézanne still life. They carefully replaced the fruit and then went on to the cafe picture by Van Gogh. The waiter was standing there with a piece of paper in his hand. It's a bill, said Mimi, for the pastries we ruined. Katy dug into her pocket and took out the gold coins. Is this enough? She asked the waiter. Merci, he said, looking very pleased. You may eat here whenever you want. And he climbed back into his picture. Katie and Mimi followed the seed trail back to the sunflower picture. Katie collected a few seeds from the floor, wrapped them in a tissue, and put them in her coat pocket. Then she carefully arranged the sunflowers in their vase and put them back in the picture. Almost as good as new, said Katie. Thanks for coming. I'm glad I did, mon ami, said Mimi. It was fun. And she hopped into her picture with Zazu. Grandma was just waking up when Katie returned. Shall we see if it stopped raining? Grandma said. It hadn't, but Katie didn't mind. Rain is good for the garden, she said. It will make everything grow. The end. How did you like that? It's a fun story, and wouldn't it be so cool if you could climb inside a painting and see who's inside there? I chose this book to read for you today because I'm actually going to a Van Gogh exhibition here in the town where I live, and I'm going this weekend. So I thought this was a very fitting book to read to you, and if you like art, I'm sure you will love the exhibition too if it comes to your town. So have a great weekend, everyone, and until next time, remember, keep reading.